I found 3 simple browser extensions that are totally free and could make anywhere from $50 to $150 a month per extension on the low end, all the way up to potentially thousands of dollars on the higher end. But time is running out for eligibility, so you need to jump on them quickly. And first up is the Kaisar network. And no, I'm not talking about an emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, the Austrian Empire, or the German Empire. The Kaisar I'm talking about here is a project that wants to aggregate spare GPU power from around the world to create a massive universal AI compute layer. The goal is to make high-performance computing for AI and machine learning applications more accessible and a lot cheaper than traditional cloud providers. Kaisar's co-founder said a while back that they have already secured a lot of deals for their services, which apparently means they have some incoming revenue, although we have no idea how much yet. And apparently the former VP at Wells Fargo has just joined Kaisar as an advisor. Now, how does this actually work? Well, Kaisar is built on the Peaq blockchain, which is specifically built for the machine economy and is a channel favorite of mine. And the entire Kaisar system relies on a few key players. You've got individuals or organizations contributing their idle GPU hardware. Then there are users, typically AI developers and businesses, who rent this GPU power for their intense AI ML workloads. Customers will then pay with the Kai tokens for GPU resources. And to keep everything honest, Kaisar uses checker nodes that verify how well those GPUs are performing. And then there's the zero node Chrome extension. You run this in the background and it tracks things like your device's location and uptime. One potential concern is that Kaisar doesn't say what they do with this location data, if it's anonymous or protected from being directly exposed. So do your due diligence here and do that with all of the things I'm about to talk about, really. The zero node extension is more of a proof of concept, meant to test the Kaisar network before launch. This means that it doesn't directly process AI workloads. Their upcoming provider app is what will actually allow you to contribute your compute power to earn rewards in Kai. The app will be available for macOS, Windows, and Linux. However, we don't currently know when that will be released. But until then, you can just run the zero node browser extension, which is mainly what I'm talking about here. Even though the extension doesn't seem to be doing much, you still earn points by running it. And you can earn up to 300 points daily for 24 hours of uptime. And then these points will eventually be convertible to the Kai token at TGE, or the token generation event, and the date for that has not yet been announced. Holders of the Kaisar Genesis NFT double their earnings from running a zero node. For instance, a non-NFT holder earns 300 points a day, but if you double that, an NFT holder would earn 600 points per day. And being an NFT holder also grants a total of a 3x multiplier at the end of the campaign for overall points. You can buy these NFTs on OpenSea or Magic Eden, and all these things will be linked down in the description below. And you can also refer people to Kaisar, and for each referral that you make, you get an additional 10% from the earnings of your referrals. So why am I bullish on Kaisar? Well, the demand for GPUs in the AI sector has just kept increasing. I am mega bullish on AI plays this crypto cycle. AI is not going anywhere. And in this new AI world, AI startups and developers often get priced out or face huge delays trying to get the hardware they need from traditional centralized providers. And Kaisar is one of the many players out there that is trying to directly address this GPU scarcity by tapping into existing unused capacity. Now, of course, Kaisar is not the only project doing this. Aether and Distribute AI, which I both covered on my channel in previous videos, are doing the same thing and have a big head start in the game. And that's just naming a few. There's a bunch of other ones too. There are even more established projects like Render or Akash doing the same thing. But Kaisar is a very early stage project, which means it could have a pretty big potential for high returns if it does well. And considering you can get involved right now for free, which is the whole point of this video, I think it's worth giving a try. So let's talk about the earning potential. Now, talking about these points you're earning, well, how much could these points actually be worth? Well, we can speculate based on what happened with another similar project, Distribute AI. Distribute AI had their TGE back in May of this year. Those who ran their desktop and browser extensions early on managed to get a few $100s each, while the highest payouts were around $10,000. And this is also consistent with what those running the Grass app also got on their first airdrop. Which, all that to say, this is not bad at all for running a totally free app in the background. And of course, speaking of Grass, well, that's project number 2 I want to cover in this video. It's an AI DePIN that lets people like you and me earn by simply sharing our unused internet bandwidth. So how does that work? Well, most of the web isn't indexed by Google or Bing and is completely invisible to most AI companies. Grass uses a globally decentralized network of residential IPs to surface that hidden text, video, audio, and images. And just to put that in perspective, Grass surfaces about a century's worth of video content per day. Grass then analyzes and annotates every video scene, describing what's happening, who's there, and what objects are in it. And then this data is made instantly searchable. But again, video is just one element. Grass finds so much more data than just video. And this gives AI developers, researchers, and companies access to that hidden data, allowing them to collect and use data that would otherwise be totally off limits. So why am I bullish on Grass? Well, let's face it, AI is here to stay. For better or worse, so always remember to tell your AI thank you so it spares you during the uprising. For AI models to get smarter, they need quality, quantity, and a diversity of data. The places you can go to get really high quality data are getting smaller and smaller. And what Grass is saying is, you know what? There's a better way of doing this. Grass is already seeing massive demand from the real world. They're currently providing data for 2 of the top 5 AI companies in the world, plus various startups, content creators, and even financial institutions. And what this means is that it's one of the leading players in AI today with real demand. These companies have apparently provided Grass with an annual recurring revenue in the 8 figures so far. Now let's talk about the earning potential. So right now you can earn points, which along with other things will count towards how big your next airdrop will be. Earning points is as simple as running their desktop app in the background, which you can start right now, totally free. However, to earn the most points, you need to also install their mobile app. And that app, as of right now, is only available with a code, which isn't so easy to get. I will say, some alpha here, there's occasionally some of those codes available in my premium crypto membership, Sleep Money Club, if you're interested. Grass is currently in stage 2, at the end of which we will expect to see their next big airdrop. The co-founder of Grass has hinted that stage 2 might conclude by the end of this year, which would mean that the Grass 2 airdrop could potentially take place around that time as well. So it's not too late to start earning points right now. Their first airdrop from October of 2024 returned anywhere from 50 all the way up to $5,000+ or more. And that all comes down to how many extensions you have installed on different machines, if you referred anybody to sign up, and how long you've been running Grass yourself. Plus, in the last airdrop, you could also boost your airdrop rewards by holding their Gigabuds NFTs. But the overall point here is that everyone got something for running the free app on their device and monetizing something they weren't using anyway. And through that perspective, it's literally free money. And also worth noting here is that their new Grasshopper hardware is coming soon. Functionally, it's very similar to their desktop app, but with much higher reliability. It's also speculated that it will earn more. But I have no idea. I don't have an inside track on that one. I signed up for the waitlist just like everybody else, and I plan on buying one to test out when it's available. The third project I want to talk about is Gradient. Gradient is building the world's first decentralized AI edge compute network. That's a mouthful. You can think of it as a global network of devices, computers, phones, and even IoT devices all working together to run AI models. And instead of relying on a few big data centers, Gradient spreads out that AI brainpower across everyday devices globally. And the way all that works is that at the heart of Gradient is their Parallax engine, which breaks down large AI models into smaller pieces and distributes them across these devices. This means that when you ask an AI chatbot a question, it's not just one big server doing all the heavy lifting. Instead, it's many devices all working together to give you the answer. But then how do all these little devices talk to each other? Well, that's where Latica, their other product, comes in. And Latica is like the nervous system of this whole Gradient network. Whether it's syncing how AIs think, streaming video, or coordinating autonomous agents, Latica keeps everything kind of running smoothly. And of course, here's the best part. Anyone, that means you or me or anybody else, can contribute to this network. You can use your own device to help run AI models, and in return, you can earn a share of their future airdrop. So why am I bullish on this? Well, Gradient is building an entire decentralized AI stack, and they're doing it on people's everyday devices. Gradient is designed to move data quickly, securely, and efficiently across the entire planet. And that's even with unreliable connections and varied hardware. And they even built a decentralized video streaming experience where the video streams directly from nearby Sentry nodes instead of a central server. You can check this out for yourself on their Explorer. Plus, they're also building infrastructure that allows AI to run on many types of devices. For example, your consumer GPU, your Apple Silicon device, your desktop, your laptop can be stitched together to run powerful AI. And this dramatically expands the available compute supply and can slash the cost of running AI. And they even have a live chatbot that runs peer-to-peer with no centralized server. But of course, one of the best parts about Gradient, and really the other two as well, is that getting started is completely free. You're not buying any special hardware, it's just a Chrome extension. So let's talk about the earnings. We are currently in phase 2 of Gradient. By running the extension, you accumulate points by connecting with other Sentry nodes spread around the world. And of course, as with all these, I will leave a link down below to sign up and get the Chrome extension. So you earn points by running that extension, but you can also earn points by referring other people to Gradient. You get 10% of your primary referral points and 5% of the secondary referral points. Eventually, it's very likely these points will get you a share of their future airdrop. And as for when that airdrop will happen, it's anyone's guess, but it is certainly sooner than later at this stage. But going on how much other similar airdrops were worth in the past, you can probably realistically expect to earn at least a few $100s in total, especially if you have at least a few referrals. So what are the risks with all of these different projects I'm talking about? Since it's completely free to run these apps and some returns are almost guaranteed via the airdrops, the main risk is from running third-party software on your device. While these projects officially state that they are not trying to be malicious or harmful, it's impossible to say what they're actually doing under the hood. And as the saying goes, if the product is free, well then guess what? You are the product. And that just might be the case here. The Kaisar extension, for example, collects your location data, and we just don't know what they're doing with it. That said, if their apps are a concern for you, well, you can run these projects on isolated devices. At the very minimum, I'd recommend learning about how to set up and run VLANs on your network and other ways to protect your network and segregate these devices and extensions. Other than that though, I'd say the risk reward is pretty favorable for these projects. Because again, you're not investing any of your own money into them at the base level, and you will probably get a reward in return. But as I said earlier in the video, time really is running out on these. And that's because their seasons will end sooner than later, and at that point it'll be time for the airdrops, but also because a massive alt season is right around the corner. But really, you should watch this video here and see why this could be your very last chance to make life-changing money during this crypto cycle. Do not, I repeat, do not sit on the sidelines. Goodbye.